know if you guys have ever seen The Conch on Life. She's like a comedian that does like documentaries or mockumentaries or whatever, and it's hilarious. But she got me thinking when she had this bit on existentialism, and it was kind of equated with nihilism, which I never really, I mean, you know, her stuff is a joke, you know, it's not to be taken literally. But it got me thinking, existentialism, it is good to define that, because I use that word a lot, and to me it's very different from nihilism. To me, existentialism is ontological in nature, and ontology is the study of the nature of being, the essence of being, and that is basically parallel, synonymous with existentialism, because it's based on your experience. Experience takes primacy. And when I think of experience, I think of not just the things you witness and observe in the outside world, but also that felt presence of what it feels like with the different interactions, different experiences. Yeah, what that feels like. And to not be too attached to how it feels, but just in an observing kind of way, trying to see or understand or place the experience. How to perceive the experience is a better way to say that. So existentialism is, I guess I'm kind of an existentialist. I have come to the point where I don't want to give away my faith to any of these ideologies that are always being peddled and have been around since, you know, ancient times, per se. So I used to have such respect for that, because growing up, I'm like, I don't know what's real or what's the truth or what's the origin of our story. And so I always trusted, you know, the elders, and I had like a type of reverence for these people that seem to know what's going on and seem like upstanding citizens. But I had some questions, and I asked a lot of things, and there was just like stuff with like the Garden of Eden and what I identify as the demiurge, and questioning this deity's modality, I guess. Like this archetype that requires sacrifice. I'm talking about the God of the Old Testament, and in Gnosticism, that is the Eldebaoth, who is the first archon of the demiurge, born from Sophia, one of the eternal eons that create worlds. And these eons come together to create worlds. She created a world on her own, and attempts to do it on her own, gave birth to the Eldebaoth, who is this kind of, I guess, narcissistic god that is like, because he didn't know his origins, he was like, I am the only god, and then messed up by saying, and I am a jealous god. And the other angels are like, what do you have to be jealous of if you're the only one? Whoops. Oopsie. And yeah, like to me, jealousy, like I know it can be interpreted, and Christians have told me, it's like, no, it's not like jealousy, like you're jealous of someone, but it's more like a passion, like you're passionately in love with someone, and it's coming from that kind of a place. But with the punishment involved and all that, it's an ownership involved, and all the requirements that this God put on people, without actually like helping them at a fundamental level with their struggles, and to help them understand and learn and provide adequate mentorship. Anyways, I'm getting way off of existentialism, but existentialism, suffice to say, has led me to Gnosticism, which is even more ancient teaching, and I've been listening to a lot of the esoteric texts, like the Gospel of Thomas, Mary Magdalene, and Judas, Philip, and the other apostles at the time of Jesus. And it does make sense why a lot of those weren't really included in the canon of the accepted scripture for modern, not just theists, but Christian fundamentalists. And it's become just really interesting to hear accounts that don't necessarily align with the ones that are in the accepted canon of the scriptures, because they kind of, like, they have varying viewpoints. And the ones that are in the accepted scriptures don't include any of the mention of the archons or the demiurge or any of that. Whereas some of the apostles talk about that. Like, there is the word archon in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and there's this other one, the Gospel of Truth. When something's named the Gospel of Truth, it's like, okay, suspicious, because who really knows what's going on? But I am a bit of a Thomas of the Doubter. Oh, the Gospel of Thomas, that's another good one. I just recommend to read all those because they have nuanced viewpoints. Of course, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't take it literally. I'm just like, these are very interesting insights from these authors that had these mystical experiences. And to me, that's fascinating. I love mysticism. I am intrigued by occult stuff. And I think existentialism goes farther than just consensus consciousness. And just, what's another word for consensus consciousness? Oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue right now. Oh, conformity. Conformity. I think it goes deeper than that because each of us have, on the external world, we have a lot of agreements with the way things are, like gravity, the sun coming up and down, and lots of things that we experience as a collective consciousness. But there's internal things that we all experience on an individual level in our own dynamic of life and our orientation in life and how we move through this space. And all that's very fascinating to me. And I haven't met a whole lot of other people that like to get deep into those discussions. I have a few friends that will occasionally get into that. It's really fun. I love to hear, other people's viewpoints and just have an open mind. I guess to me, existentialism is also kind of my own term for what common sense would be as far as the external consensus of this world that we live in. It's, I guess, kind of synonymous for me of what common sense is something that we all collectively agree is okay, yeah, this is real. We all experience this thing, So there's way more to be said on existentialism. And whatever the case, we are here and having this experience. And I really hope that after this experience, I don't know, I could be dissolved back in, my spirit could be dissolved back into the consciousness, the big consciousness that is all of us. Or maybe I'll retain all these memories of this experience, which I'm conflicted about. Part of me feels like this experience has kind of subverted me or distorted me in some kind of a way, broken me in some kind of a way, but it's not that can't be repaired. But I think it might be... I think I would prefer to actually remember all this. Because even though I wouldn't want to have learned the things I learned the way I did, one of the best ways to learn is in the field, is the direct experience, like going through it. You can only get so book smart, but that's the thing with existentialism, is you experience it in an intimate way that you wouldn't be able to understand from just reading a book. So, I don't want to go on too long. We're already verging on 11 minutes here, but I'd love to hear other people's insights on existentialism and what that means to you.